Hello, welcome to Look Trades trading channel where I am trying to figure out whether I can turn trading into my full-time income. I'm trading from Australia and I'm trading US market, which means late nights for me. I mainly trade early pre-market from around 4 till around 8, sometimes 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Depends on what's going on and whether market is hot or cold. So today is the first day of the month and I am in green. I am in a little bit of green. I could have had a huge profit today, but I panicked. I panicked because we've been in a cold market for the last month and every time I enter a trade, it squeezes just a little bit and right after that, it pulls all the way back. So holding trades for long in the last month was a bad idea. Very few stocks really stayed up after initial squeeze. So today I was a little bit anxious and I wasn't sure what's going to happen, especially that we have a war happening right now in Iran. I don't really know how the market will react. Turned out it was a pretty hot day, especially during the pre-market hours. So I could have made much more money today. But it's okay because small green is better than red, right? So I was very defensive today, especially that it is a first day of the month, it's the first day of the week. So I'm trying to just see what the market situation is, how the market will react to geopolitical issues and, see whether we have hot or cold market. The only stock I traded was TMDE. As you can see, I traded it twice. So first I forgot to record the entry, of course. It's my first day back home, so my setup changed again and I wasn't used to it, plus I was a little bit anxious today, so I just forgot to start recording before the trade happened, but I pressed the record button right after the entry, so I'll show you just quickly now. I entered at 421, so the stock that popped up in the morning, it's called TMD. There was actually few, but other two were pretty expensive. They were between $5 and $10, so with such a small account, I didn't even consider them. Now this one is cheaper than usual because when it started popping in the morning, it was around when I noticed it was around 160, 170. This is the area when my scanners picked it up, and that was too cheap for me. I don't like to trade anything below $2, $2.50, but the relative volume was so high that I just thought, wow, there's a lot of interest in that stock. If it's gonna squeeze, it might squeeze really high, and it did. But I didn't take advantage of that, and I'll show you. So I entered at 421, so right around here, okay? I saw this little pullback, first pullback pretty much, and it's curled back up, and I was aiming for 171, which is right around here. So I wanted to see curl up and above that. So I enter here. This is where 221 starts. This is where it ends. This is 222 candle. And look at that. So I entered here and I saw the initial squeeze up, which I thought to myself, wow, this is really good timing. It went pretty much instantly to 178, 79, just to see it pulling back to 163. And this is why I started getting nervous, because I thought, you know what, if that's just a cheap stock that's just gonna give us a couple cents squeeze and then flashes, then it's just repeating the whole cold market scenario once again. My stop loss was here at 147, around here, so it was pretty far, but still I got nervous because last month situations like this were stretched over a couple minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, and the price kept going down and down and down and down until it just flashed, and I was sitting in a 5, 10, 15 minute trades sometimes, and that's not fun. So I like the quick resolution, and today after this candle, that's when I started recording. So there you go. So this is where the recording starts. So as you can see, we are at 423. So right after that red candle, I'm gonna play it here, and also on top of that, I've noticed it's pretty thickly traded, so that kind of spooked me as well. I thought with such a low price, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not gonna squeeze, and then I saw it went back up, so that's a good sign. And now I'm waiting for at least 10 cents, but because exactly, that's what I exited, but because, let me just pull it back. Yeah, but because, I got nervous from that red candle, and I was nervous because of the whole last month, really. I was very anxious. What's really gonna happen? I thought such a cheap stock, if it give us 10-cent squeeze, that's good. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start taking my money off the table around 180 and hoping that it will squeeze slightly above 180, that giving me that 10 cents. That's what I did. I pressed, I saw 178. I thought, oh, it's gonna go 79 here, so I thought it's going to go up a little bit more. So I exited early, knowing that Webull is pretty slow with filling my orders, but this time it wasn't, so it exited pretty quickly, and I just took 9 cents off the table right away in one trade, just like that. Now that was a bad decision because, first of all, you know, I didn't even get 1R here, which normally is when I want to take my profits. But again, I just got, I was anxious from the month before, and I got a little bit anxious on top of that, seeing that this stock is cheap. It's cheaper than I usually want to buy. So I exited with just a couple dollars of profit, just to see that in the next few minutes, look what happened. It squeezed all the way to 261, and I was really frustrated with myself. But at the same time, I thought, you know what, it's better to have small green day than no green at all. So I kept watching the stock, and you know, I thought if another opportunity arises, I'm going to enter. And it did. Another opportunity was around 447, and that was a tricky one. First, it started to curling back here, and I thought this is the place where it's gonna squeeze back up. And I entered right around here. I can't remember what I was aiming, but it was around 230. And I got a slippage, and I entered right at the top of this candle, thank you Webull, at 234, right? Just to see a little push down after that. And again, that got me anxious, but you know, I kept waiting, and around 47, which is here, I saw a big green candle, and I thought if next one will be another big green, then we're good. But the next one was doji, kind of indecision candle. So this is where I thought, you know what, I'm just taking some profits off the table. I think I pressed it around 240, but I got slippage in my advantage, so it got exited at 243, so right at the top of this candle, with 50 shares this time, because I thought this is gonna go higher. But I saw this doji, and I thought this is, again, it's a second pullback, it's already extended, I shouldn't push my luck. So I exited again right at the bottom at 237, so overall very small trade again. If I waited another few minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, I would see that 260 to 70, which that would be perfect trade. But again, because of my anxiousness from the month before, and you know, being uncertain about the current situation, I wasn't sure what's gonna happen. There was another entry which I didn't take deliberately, because to me, that stock was already very extended right here. So I don't like to take a third pullback, but it was an amazing trade as it turned out, because it went from 270 all the way to 450, 60, 470. So $2 up, you know, that would be an amazing trade. But that's okay. Again, like, I'm happy to see that there is some momentum in the market. That's not the only stock that popped up. The other one I was watching, well, actually I was watching few, but one of them was BATL, which was really good as well in a pre-market. But as you can see, it squeezed from 4 a.m. It squeezed all the way to 12 from around $5. But the problem with this was that when I saw this, it was already very high price. It had huge spreads, and the price was just too high, and I did not want it to risk, you know, $2. So that I'm not doing that anymore, especially after last month. So firstly, I couldn't afford too many shares. Secondly, I don't want to risk, you know, $2 per trade. But there were opportunities here. As you can see, it was kind of flat, but then it gave that double top around 7, and that would be a nice entry here. Nevertheless, I was pretty tired after my trip, and this is the first day that I'm home, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna clock off with a small profit just to kind of have that green day, the first day of the month. Even though it's small, it's fine. I need to play defensively this month, because last month was really bad for me. I got destroyed by tech market, and I was too reckless. definitely too reckless last month. So this month I want to play defensive and I'll take just a small profit. It's fine. When there's something strong and I have a proper cushion on a month, then I can take a little bit more risk. But for now, I don't plan to be aggressive because with the situation that we have now, everything can change in an instant. So here is my month of March. We are $7.96 on a day. So very small profit, could have been 200 or even more, but it's okay. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that I entered with 100 shares, which is half position. I did it deliberately from few reasons. Number one, the stock didn't match my criteria at the very beginning. It was below $2, so 171. So because of that, I decided to risk less because I like to trade stocks above 2 to 50, but this one was very promising but cheap. So in my opinion, that was a good move to take less risk. Now here, I took also 100 shares because I could afford more, but the reason is it was a second pullback. So second pullback, it's always more risky. And therefore, I also want to take less risk. I'm not going on risk. In this case, I could probably get 150 shares or something like that. But again, I do not want to risk. This is all about being defensive and making sure I have profit and not just jump in and then get crushed like last month. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to take a part in my journey, please subscribe, like, and I will see you tomorrow.